California home sellers or people thinking about selling your home. These are the two most important things you should know about today's markets and how to sell your home. One, you've got to maintain control of your asset relative to your realtor. And two, you've got to maintain control of your asset with respect to the buyers. In other words, only let them have control of your asset to have free looks at your property for 5 to 7 days. Covering the second one, the latter now. For instance, let's say you have $1 million property. If someone were going to control $1 million of assets in the stock market, let's say 100 shares of a company that was, I don't know, $1,000, so that'd be 100,000. Let's say 1,000 shares of a company at $1,000. They'd have to get 10 contracts of options. They probably have to spend well more than the deposit money that you would be putting down on most properties. And the difference is they lose that money. Realtors can almost never, and I mean never, get deposit money from buyers. So buyers know this. Their agents know this. Their agents will protect them and just cancel escrow. So buyers get a free look at your property, and they do it in down markets. In the short sale market, after really we're going down, buyers would make offers. If the prices went down, they'd walk away. Prices went up, they'd close. We sold 22 properties in about 14 days once after the government made those tax breaks, and the prices had turned around, and we started getting approvals. Every buyer closed. We just suffered through 6 months where almost every buyer walked away. Buyers are smart. It happened to us in a similar market that we have now. My wife and I had a home under contract for $600,000. I was aware that the market was changing. We had the warning signs. We sold to a buyer. I sort of trusted I really liked the lady who was representing the buyer. And then they did their inspections quickly, and I figured, we'll know in a few days if they're going to go ahead and do the deal. Well, the buyer hung on to the property for a much longer period of time. And then really, by the time we were done, the property, and we sold to the next person, it was $180,000 lower. So and that was equity. This was above our loans. We lost $180,000 equity over a 50-day period because the buyer used the contracts to their advantage. Buyers do that. Their agents, maybe their first property or two, they're not sophisticated. They talk to people in their office. By then, this is what buyers do. So, what is my solution? Well, with respect to your agent, it's very simple. Make sure you don't sign a listing agreement for a term that's more than 31 days. Also, and this is even more important, because in a market that's changing, you may want to change the way you're going. You may want to sell one of those fast cash buyers who's offering to buy your property at a discount, but you're like, it might be better for your needs. So you need to have written. Oral agreements do not work. Many brokers don't honor their agents' oral agreements. I know this because I've been hired to help people in these circumstances, up and down markets. I'm a real estate attorney and a broker. So 24-hour written cancellation. Seller may cancel this agreement with 24-hour written notice to broker. You want to put that in there. And then finally, and this is more complicated, you want to deal with the tail. As a lawyer, I just cross it out and change it. As a realtor, there's ways to deal with it. I have more information about that at winnerscheck.com / I have to get used to the camera flipping this / let's say listing agreement. I'll put training there, and I will put a sample agreement that's for educational purposes only. Now, let's deal with the purchase agreement right here. Now, the easiest way, a way a realtor can do it without being a lawyer, because realtors can't change the contract, is quite simply negotiate down these contingencies. Let's scroll down. This is the most recent California Association of Realtor agreement. I always like to check. It's the RPA revised 622. So this is really cutting edge information. I'm out of water. So let's scroll down to contingencies. So this is the beginning of L right here. These are the major ones. Loan contingency and appraisal contingencies. This is all about your realtor being able to select the right people and close these down appropriately in consultation with you. This takes realtors that are smart and have experience in down market strategies. There's just no other way around it, unless you have someone on your team also. But they can get this down or help you select the right agents. You could create an acid test where if they're not willing to make some changes, then maybe they're not the buyer for you. A lawyer can also find a way where after 7 days, you get to keep some deposit or good faith money. You should consider that. But, you're going to be in the middle of negotiations. It might not be easy to pick up a lawyer at that point in time. But these provisions can be dealt with well. Not perfectly, but well. But these ones are much easier to deal with. Your realtor has to have a carrot and a stick approach or consultation with the buyer's agent. I would say a simple script might be something like, well, we're aware of the car survey that said 24% of the realtors in June had buyers that walked away from the deal or sellers that canceled. So we want to get this under contract, but we want to keep our buyer and seller in the deal. So let's make these short. Plenty of other ways to script this. Good intake of information with the buyer's agent. Both saying, let's work together, help our buyer, help our seller. Let's see what we can do here. Can really work well. Now, I have a buyer lockdown strategy that has worked in up and down markets. We use it all the time in the up market. And I remember back from when we first developed it, after I lost $180,000, we lock down buyers. We make them do their inspections early. And I'll tell you a little bit about it right now. And you can go get more information by clicking the link. If you're seeing this, a link somewhere around here, or you could just, if you remember, winnerscheck.com / disclosures. And there I'll offer to do your disclosures with you at much less than I even charge normally if you already don't have a realtor. Like if you're doing the right thing and saying, I'm going to do my investigation first, if you come to us, right now, I used to charge $375 10 years ago. Right now, I'm willing to do $100, and I'll show you how you don't even have to, you'll get the money back if you work with us and you sell your home. And there's a lot more incentives, but there's also the training. I will go into the training of how we leverage the home seller disclosures to entice buyers and make them feel confident, eliminate some of their buyer's remorse by disclosing well. Not some people over disclose, some people under disclose. We like to disclose just the right amount and then add a few things in. So as buyers are walking through your home, they're like, wow, these people are really being credible with us. I have a feeling I know this property, so I'm going to know what to offer. So they don't keep some money in reserve in case they don't like the inspections. And I know how to also diffuse that. I'll explain there how to diffuse that with some statements that your realtor can use during negotiations. And then two, and this is why it's so important. In down markets, if our market rolls over, I know it's already rolling over in some area. The data shows it's already rolled over in some metropolitan areas. I know someone who sold a home and the buyer who just recently bought is now underwater. No doubt about it. Okay, so new listings are coming on the market for less than they owe. So it's happening in California. Not everybody, and I want to scare everybody, but I want you to be prepared. My first 3 trials, I really wanted to be a trial lawyer when I became a lawyer. I'd done moot courts and I was like, this is what I want to do. And I did it. And then, long story short, I didn't want to work for big corporations, and the little guys couldn't really even pay enough to get proper experts to trial, let alone pay a lawyer's fees all the time. So it was like it was so difficult because there was so many conflicting stories. But my first 3 trials were representing real estate brokers. I remember that broker, he got sued 3 different times, and by the last one, he was out of money. And what the lawyers were trying to do was they wanted to go, there's a state fund that protects victims of fraud. So he was being sued for fraud. If they succeeded, he would lose his license. It was really brutal on the guy. But my friends were also, almost all of them out of law school back in the 90s, were employed in the real estate industry some way or another, defending condo sellers, defending developers, suing them. Same thing last time. Lots of lawsuits went flying when buyers start losing money. We even have buyers suing people in an upmarket. Phil and I, a realtor in my office, who you may speak with if you're working with us, really smart guy, likes to renovate properties, went to Arizona and did all that. When we renovated a property in Orange County, I don't know, some period of time after we sold it, the pipe broke, and one of the pipes broke, and they were like, well, you guys must have been aware of it. And Phil's like, we weren't aware of it. We disclosed it. And they still, they still came after Phil. Now, they were fully aware I'm an attorney, and if they went to Superior Court, we would have quickly defeated them based on our disclosures. But they sued Phil in small claims court, so he was at risk for $5,000, and Phil gave him a nuisance amount of money to go away. They sued Phil and not me. Now, Phil could have, we could have done a lot of things, but the point was, rather than get all lawyered up, we just gave him a little nuisance money and they went away. So realtors can advise their clients to be smart and crafty too. Superior Court and taking advantage of disclosing properly, you get to avail yourself of California laws with respect to disclosures, and it makes it much, much more difficult and less likely buyers go in, so they have more difficulty finding attorneys. So that's really what you want to do. You want to disclose properly. You want to use it as leverage. You want to, during the negotiations, and you want to have buyers, you want to be protected during the process. So I can see I've covered everything thoroughly. If you see this, you can go to winnerscheck.com/disclosures, or if maybe you're seeing it on the front on that page, in which case click the link if you want to set up a home seller disclosure strategy session with me. We'll go over your disclosures. We'll send you the disclosures in electronic form. You'll fill them out. We'll talk. You can do it again, and you have 60-day follow-up. You can find out more just by clicking the link. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.